So we're continuing to wander around the Metals Expo exposition here in the NEC in Birmingham, and we've spoken to Gareth Stace earlier from UK Steel. There's a Tata Steel area in the middle of the exhibition, and now we've just happened upon one of our customers. So National Tube Stockholders, NTS, who are a customer of ours, or an intermediary to the end market, who use tubes from Corby and Hartlepool. And I'm here now with Jonathan Sochart. He's the commercial director of NTS. And Jonathan, great for joining us. Thanks very much for joining us on camera and hopefully on podcast as well. Now, as a key customer as well, I was talking to Gareth Stace earlier about the pressure that is on the steel industry to decarbonise. Now, Gareth's obviously involved in the government and putting pressure on legislation and potential financial support for technology change. But I said to Gareth that, you know, whilst there's pressure from the government for the steel industry and energy-intensive industries to reach net zero, the real pressure we're feeling is from customers. And you're a direct customer of ours, but you have your own customers in the market. You know, what's your position in terms of looking at the steel industry to get to net zero, and what are you doing yourselves in terms of that?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, one of our biggest sectors at NTS is the structural market. So steel going into big buildings in London or warehousing, etc. You know, credentials and net zero has been talked about for some time, but we're actually seeing demands on us now. Customers asking us who are we buying from, what credentials have they got. Everyone's pulling together a roadmap on some of the smaller jobs that we're doing. We're seeing people ask for clean steel, greener steel. Yeah. I think people are still getting their minds around what is green steel, how do you measure it, but certainly there's a big pull not just from the structural market but from other sectors that we deal with, so for the rail sector as well. So we're seeing it across the board. So I mean, we're happy that Tata have got a roadmap and are going down that plan, and we're looking for other suppliers to do that as well.
Yeah, because all energy-intensive industries and all steel industries who supply you are all in a similar place. You know, we've all got to commit to some big technology change, which is a massive investment, but also in the UK, as you'll understand, requires some legislative changes about things like energy costs in the future. So, you know, when you talk to Tata Steel and other steel suppliers, have you got clarity of the stuff that they are doing and they can doing in self-help in terms of reducing their carbon footprint so far, or are you a bit blind to all of that?
No, we have spoken to some of your people involved in sustainability, so we've had presentations and they've educated us on where you're going. For the structural market, the BCSA have a roadmap as well, so they're representing the structural sector. I guess one of the things we're looking at is what can we do internally, and we try and be as energy efficient as possible. I think everybody in the whole industry is looking at ways to be more efficient, to reduce their usage. I guess one of the challenges we've all got is how we do transport going forward, which there's no easy option, there's no easy answer for, but certainly people are looking at solar panels, they're looking at more efficient use of lighting within warehousing, etc., and they're all things that we're looking at or doing already. Yeah,
and it's good that everyone, as you said, is doing that, but I think in the steel industry we certainly feel that we're in the spotlight or under pressure, because you know, you guys can, you know, you can turn off the lights and put LED lighting on and, you know, convert your lorries to electric, but when you compare it with the emissions that come out of an integrated steelworks, you know, it kind of blows it out of the water, doesn't it? And that's really, really difficult. What sort of pressure do you feel under from your customers who are asking you for, you know, maybe certification or evidence, or through supply chain evidence of where your steel's coming from?
We've seen it in certain products, on certain projects, where they're actually saying we want to get the best steel, the greenest steel. And then you say to them, well, what do you mean by the greenest steel? And sometimes there's this misunderstanding that steel made from scrap's greener than steel made from boss root. So we actually need to educate the customers. And I think quite a few of the customers don't actually know what they're asking for. They're actually looking for help. So we actually point them in the direction of the Tata documentation or the BCSA documentation. And I think, you know, when you look at the roadmaps, they are quite a long way away. And it's planning a way through that, and I think it's educating our customers who just want the greenest steel. And what do you mean by that?
But the future of your business, from what you're saying, your customers are putting that pressure on, the future of your business depends on companies like Tata Steel and other companies who supply you coming up with those solutions. So what responsibility do you feel as a company to join in putting pressure on the UK government in terms of legislative framework or financial support for the UK steel industry?
I mean, we do feel duty bound to do it. We're kind of stuck in the middle as a steel stockholder. So, you know, as long as we buy from the most efficient places, the greenest sources that we can, and so long as we can do our processes and procedures as efficiently as possible, you know, we're kind of limited to that. You know, I think you know, in terms of influencing government, you've got to go through the people like Tata, who have got a big interface with the government, and also the BCSA, who have that relationship with them.
I guess the other side is sustainability. You know, one side of it is about that materials production side, but the other side of it is about materials and use, and we're hoping to speak to our Matthew Teague shortly. I think he's actually speaking just across the road at the moment. We're hoping to speak to Matthew Teague, because modern methods of construction is a big buzzword in the construction industry. Now, I know you might be in a slightly different position with the bigger construction, but you know, to what extent are you and your customers involved in innovation and product solutions and manufacturing solutions that has an impact on sustainability as well?
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about construction and going modular and doing an awful lot of things off-site and taking it to site. I think there's pros and cons depending on the type of structure that you're building, but certainly we're coming under a lot of pressure from our customers in terms of, and we're putting pressure back on them to say, you know, if we're going to be delivering, we're going to be delivering full loads. You know, we want to reduce the number of journeys that we make. And in terms of investment in NTS, I may as well beat the drum. We've invested heavily in laser profiling equipment, which can actually make the processing of steel for a fabricator more efficient, because we can do that fabrication, or that level of fabrication, in-house on a laser rather than doing it manually in a fabricator's. And these technology changes all make a difference, don't they? And I know, you know, we're doing some similar things in terms of technology within Tata Steel. Listen, Jonathan, we're going to go, because I'm going to go and try and catch Matthew Teague at his presentation. But brilliant for joining us. Thanks very much for your input today, and it'll be really interesting to see how the relationship goes and how sustainability progresses. Thanks for the chat.
You're very welcome.
Cheers.